Hello and welcome to this, the very something episode of Ministry of Sound Techno Anthems 99, a stream where the bass goes hard and we're okay with that, you know? How's everyone doing? Oh my goodness, where are we? We're in space. We're in the cold heck of space. Oh, which mouse sensitivity do I want? I'm gonna say this one. Alright. Already I can hear the sounds of horrible things I don't want to deal with. Right, so if you've just joined us, we're System Shock. I'm John System Shock, and I'm here to do science, and also have a laser rapier. And we're going. What are we doing? We got some chips. We've got interpolated sim chip. Okay, right, yes. So there are some simulation units that the weird worm people have taken control of, and we are going to try and steal control of those so we can make Showdown kiss Xerxes, and then we'll be the winner. We'll be winner. Alright. And that's what I was doing. I spent quite a lot of the last half of last week's stream trying to figure out where I had not yet been. And unfortunately, some portion of this week's stream is going to have to also be that. So bear with me while I try and find where the rest of the game is. Oh heck. Oh yeah, I can hold it in my inventory now. Okay, I've definitely been this way. This is where Polito was. RIP Polito, owned. Right. So last time we obtained the EMP rifle at almost exactly the same time as we realised it was almost completely useless versus organic targets. So that's fun.
Is there another?
Like that one, for example. Can't run from me. Oh, look at all these good friends we got in the chat. We got Friendo, we got Will, we got Deanie, we got Nat. Hello, friends. How? It is as ever good to see you all. That looks like a non-organic target, and the kind of thing that will get completely roasted by our big old EMP cannon. Let's see how true that turns out to be. Yeah, that's pretty good, because those things are pretty robust to a standard laser system, so hella. Right. Whoa, fire monkey! Forgotten about the fire. Wow, the fire monkeys are strong. Holy wow. Right. I need to very quickly remember how I. Oh, no, don't need cyber. Do not need cyber. Oh, jeez. Oh. That'll do, I guess. That will do. Okay. Let's get this agility out so we can do some laser swording.
You do.
Now, I'm the ninja. And that's what we do. We ninja through space, or ninjaing things up. Okay, this looks like a promising lead on progress because there's a load of stuff we don't have yet, and a new... I fear not the camera. I have studied the blade. Oh, the rhythms are back. Hella. Let's just listen to this audio log before the beat drops.
Don't stop, Rebecca. Keep moving. Get to the escape pods on the command deck. We'll take off, set the toaster to wake us up in 30 years, and we'll be back on Earth before you know. A toaster built for two, baby. That's our next stop. Sound good? So let's do it. I won't take any excuses.
Find you a man who will whisk you away in a toaster built for two.
Something.
They did not even notice me. That's hilarious. And if you think I'm not going to check every single one of these lockers, you are sadly mistaken. Oh, what is the power drain from? My powered armor. Oh yes, well, We have the perfect remedy. We can do powers with our brain. Yeah. Oh, no. There we go. Right. Oh, see, 15 nanites. It was worth it. If you think I'm going to quit while I'm ahead, you're wrong too. I've never quit while I'm ahead. I will keep going until I'm not ahead. That's just how it works. See, look at all these great things we got. And if I wasn't willing to waste loads of time searching through those lockers, I never would have. Whoa! I have all this cyber I don't need. Oh my gosh! Dogstrong is raiding the stream with a party of 24. Wow, embarrassing. I don't have a notification set up for that. Hi, everyone who's come over from Dogstrong's stream. Good to see you all. We're playing System Shock 2. A game with a System Shock. Oh, we don't have any cyber modules. Hey, Dogstrong. Hey, everyone. Wow, this is vastly more people than has ever been in my stream before. So, apologies if I don't read the chat fast enough. Oh, get owned. Oh yeah, we didn't check in here. Oh, I'm gonna have to bust out my best simpering chops so I can convince you all that this is a great stream that you should watch. Oh, that's the kind of thing I could probably pick up with psychic powers if I had those. Well, yeah, no, there's a door there. Never mind. What is up, everyone? Yeah. So, how about System Shock 2, eh? System Shock 2 is a real cool game. I was halfway through talking about this last time, but I was then attacked by a spider and completely lost my train of thought because spiders really mess with my brain in System Shock 2, especially because they're like super resilient to energy weapons. That sucks, the big one. Ooh, is this... Oh, weapons locks? Yeah, I'm already losing my train of thought. Tiggerix in the chat is asking if this is an HD mod. No, this is really just what the game looks like in the year 2018. It's pretty cool. There was a lot of work was done on this game after it was re-released, I think. Either that or it was like just way better than we thought it was before it was re-released. I don't actually know. But the point is, game looked good. Right. So oh my gosh, Tiggerix is now following. Thanks, Tiggerix. Right. I'm gonna... What am I gonna do? I'm gonna find a slightly more secure location and look through the audio logs. No,
I'm trying to get up to find you, Tommy, but I can't. I'm stuck in
Which
ops.
one is it?
There's some kind of civil war going on here. Tommy, I don't know what's going on here. Ever since we received orders to
There's a
clear
code
out
in here
that
somewhere.
people...
No, not this one.
I'm trying to get up to find...
No. Who is it?
Brought down the last of the sim units today.
What? Who's the one who is Bronson? Here we go.
Something is taking over.
She
this
has a
ship.
code for one of
The
these
sim unit-
doors.
I feel you men
There
are
you
as
go.
dedicated to the mission as you need to
13433.
be. You
Is that
will do
this
your
one?
duty. The traders and ops have still been unable to get the sim unit back online. If the situation is not remedied by 0600,
Oh, we got. Oh, it fell right into that one. Woo! Jeez. Okay. Hate. Okay. So the weapons lockup had a different kind of weapon in it. Fancy that. Oh. I should have sort of killed that, to be honest, for the extra BM, but I didn't even have any fat loot. What the hell? Owned. Destroyed. So yeah, see, that's really cool. I was like super psyched that I remembered the key for this door, but no, there was an enemy in there. It was a sad time for me. Here's an assault rifle, a perfect quality assault rifle that would be a great thing if I didn't have terrible hands and am therefore completely incapable of using it. So I'm gonna leave it here. Wow, there was nothing for us in here. Thanks, System Shock 2. That's just how it is in this bitch of a space. I'm glad that my clacky keyboard is identifying me as an SJW, because that is true as hell. No, that's not what we're looking for, is it? What we're looking for... agility. Because I need to supplement my agility with my mind powers in order to hold my sword, because that's just the kind of life we live in space. Somehow I knew this would happen. Get out of here, worms. I'll get you next time. Yeah! Heck the worms. What was I destroying these with last time? Was it the laser pistol? No, the laser pistol does okay damage. Yeah! That's probably fine. Love to destroy egg. So eventually, I promise, eventually things will stop happening in this game for long enough that I'll be able to say my piece about one of the reasons I like it so much that I thought about over a week ago now, but things have just been constantly happening in between.
As of this time, I am declaring a state of martial law on the Von Braun. All primary subsectors of the ship will be locked down and only accessible by security access cards. If anybody is found to be interfering with the normal operations of the ship or impedes the work of the
Oh
security
my gosh,
forces,
Yami is now
they'll be shot
following.
on
Thank
the
you for
spot.
following. Okay, so yeah, clearly Bronson was you know, the authority got to her head somewhat. And I mean, clearly she wasn't successful or all of these worms wouldn't be everywhere. Nice one, Bronson. Alright, so we're gonna save. So we're gonna go through these. Nope, wrong way. Oh, okay, cool. Well, I think we're pretty kitted out to defeat robotic enemies at this point. Because our energy weapons kind of trivialize that fight. Prisms? I love prisms. Qu'est-ce que c'est le prism? The Cybentech crystal prisms were introduced in 2023 for high-density energy storage and have been the storage medium of choice ever since for energy weapons. The silicon vanadium crystal lattice stores energy in 6 orthogonal dimensions in the prism's compressed EM fields, allowing for completely efficient energy drain and recharge. So can I, like... No? Okay. I guess there's some kind of super weapon that uses them. Nat in the chat is saying that they assume that the sword's agility... Oh, hey! The sword's agility requirement is owing to the fact that it doesn't have a hilt and you just have to hold... Ow! Wow, Pyro is real good, huh? Gosh darn monkeys. Oh, what? Give me a crisps. Right, we gotta kill that ninja. Ow. Ah. Oh, fucking weapons jammed. Wow, owned by your own ninja friend. Do we have any unjammed weapons, or are we gonna have to cryo this ninja to death? Whoop. Oh, there's a cannon. Yeah, there's a thing down there. Okay. How are we gonna do this? I could like Psy Booster and then Ninja. That works, I guess. All right, so
Your skill surprises me. Transmitting cybernetic modules.
cybernetic modules. I gather those are hard to find, but we found them, so we got them. Nice, nice. Okay, so that pistol being jammed is actually a huge problem for us. So I'm gonna have to cryo this. Oh no, I can EMP that cannon, can't I? That camera even. I suppose if I was a real warrior, I would have rushed it with my sword, but maybe another day.
Agility activated.
Actually, I can probably activate that lift or something. Fold the space together in a satisfying way. In that way I like to do. Actually, I don't recognise that at all. There's a dead person in there. This doesn't seem very safe. Sweet, an unresearched object. That looks like a horrible implant of some kind. And we can't get in those places, so... Right, what research project is currently active? No. Oh, I have researched either of these objects. No, I need Californium for that. Spend this, and I need Gallium for that, which I guess I don't have either of. That's a shame. So, what do I need for this? Research skill 4. Get the hell out of here. Flash sounds. Let's hear that again. Good sound. Right. Yeah. Whoop. Sorted. Alright. So, what I'm gonna do is... What am I gonna do? I'm gonna wait for this hypo to stop healing me. I'm gonna save my game, and I'm gonna start saying my thing, and just try and say it while all the terrible things happen. And if I stop, I'll just try and start again. So, the thing about System Shock 2, the thing that really works about this game, and that really works about, I guess, all immersive sims, or, you know, the vast majority of immersive sims, the good immersive sims, is that one of the reasons that they work so well is because you end up playing this... Oh, superb argon laser suspension pistol. Nice. You end up playing this game where you're... Like, this game, like, I guess it was a blueprint for those, but the original System Shock was as well, is you end up playing this game, which is a very, like... It's a very textured space. There's a lot going on. The mechanics of the game, they require you to know where everything is. So, for example, this power-related stuff, if I didn't have these psychic powers that allowed me to generate electric with my brain, I would have to, like, constantly be going back to refill these things. And, like, you know, I would have to think about how I'm going to keep my tools working. And it's like, apart from weapon degradation, which is kind of annoying, it doesn't really feel like bad. It just feels like it builds your relationship with the space in a really interesting way. Like, linear simulation chip. What is that noise? Oh, that's just the showdown noise. Yeah, it builds your relationship with the space in a really interesting way. It means that every engagement that you have, like when you use a resource, you have to think about where you are in relation to where you can restock that resource. And that's really interesting, especially in a game where there are a lot of different resources, only some of which you end up like choosing to use, and like they restock in different ways. So like there are things like ammo. Oh, what? There's things like ammo that you can only really find on bodies or purchase, and there are things like what? No, I hate this. Yeah, things like ammo which you can only really find on bodies or buy, and then
Security alert terminated.
there are things like psychic, which you can only, like, you know, your body can generate some of the time, but otherwise you're kind of stuck, right? And it's neat. Oh, right, we just straight up ran out of electric for that, huh? And that's it. Like, it's sort of standard, like, it's a standard RPG style thing, but you have to, like, constantly be thinking about where everything is. And when you couple that with what this game has, which is really, really compelling and interesting level design, you end up with a really, 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 really engaging game to play. And that is System Shock 2. And, you know, a couple of other immersive sims that I haven't played that much. Oh, what? Rude. Is that where the thing is? No. Password required. Interesting. But yeah, it makes navigating what would otherwise be, you know, good, but kind of functionless level design really, really interesting. That is what is good about. Oh no, toxins! Stepped on some toxic worm piles. Oh. Give me this. Right, how repair? This. We did it! Alright, we got a fair pistol and a... What's this one? An excellent pistol. But one of them is modded, so we're going to keep both for now. Monkey! Fucking pyro monkey. Just gonna stay there. And I will sword you! Getting high on side boosters. Silly pyro monkey. Chat is asking if the giant spiders are real giant spiders or just robot replicas. No, the giant spiders are terrifyingly real, and because they're not robot replicas, they are upsettingly resilient to laser attacks, which unfortunately is where I seem to have based my entire offense. So we just kind of had to hack at spiders until they died.
You listen to me, you little bitch.
Oh my gosh, Ludovico has followed. Thank you so much.
Or some real military is gonna come down there and walk all over your raindrops. You can't possibly understand what our mission is here and the glory of our purpose. If you do what we say, you might have a chance to see the glory of liberty. Comply or die, sister. It's that simple.
Unfortunately, history has told us that they died. So if anyone is wondering why my character just threw the laser rapier across the room, it's because that's what happens when you run out of agility power and you don't have enough space left in your inventory to hold it. You just throw it across the room. And it's amazing. I love it.
Agility activated.
If we can reprogram the sim units and divert power to the transmitter on deck 5, my new friend will be able to regain control of the primary data loop from Xerxes. It says that will let us use the bridge elevator and take control of the ship.
So this is like a neat thread that runs through this game, is the idea that Shodan has already tried to convince someone to help her take control of the ship and failed. But it's like, it's interesting. It sort of, I guess it emphasizes that disposability she keeps talking about, but doesn't really have a lot of weight to put behind, because at this stage in the game it feels like you're her only option. But she's tried and failed other times. That's fun. I like it. Chat is asking whether I could use electron power to charge the other laser pistol. I could indeed, but I knew this was this charger was here, so I waited. Alright, so we got 2 of the sim units. Where is the third one? I do not know. I'm going to have to find out. Ooh. your cash. Beating up poor hybrid cyborgs and stealing their money. That's me. I'm a meanie. Alright, what was my next... Was there another thing I wanted? I can't remember. What psychic powers are there? Energy reflection, molecular duplication, pyrokinesis, neural toxin blocker, and psionic hypnogenesis. Eh. None of those are particularly exciting to me. Yeah, these all seem boring. I'll figure this out some other time. For now, once more into the space. Ooh, coolant levels. Ooh, an auto repair unit. Nice. Karis in chat is asking if there's a reason why I don't use a minimap. Yes, the reason is I don't know the button that enables it. Ow, rude. Ah.
Bronson knows.
Won't let her undo the work we've done.
Wired up a surprise for her. Anybody approaching Sim Unit
3 will feel sorrow.
So much sorrow.
So that's something that I like a lot about the many. So like the thing about the many is that while they're possessing all these folks, there's a check on the main map down in the bottom right of the window. Okay, so you can. Wow, that is actually pretty big, huh? I should probably have noticed that. Oh well, we got there in the end. So yeah, I think that is cool about characterization of the many is the way that so you have this like this hive-like entity that has taken control of these spacefarers, and like that's fine. That's that's already a pretty well established genre convention, right? There's a lot of that's fairly well trodden ground, even at this point in 1998, I think. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, even at that point, the idea of that is pretty well trodden ground, right? But like, what I really like is the way that, in addition to these fantastic vocal synthesizer effects that we've talked about in previous streams, you also have the fact that their relationship to language changes in a really cool way, because the many, like the sort of gestalt intelligence of the many, that it like speaks to you with a floaty voice, is like it's obsessed with the idea of community and of like almost like feeling, I guess, that the reason that you're not aligned with the will of the many is because you don't understand. You haven't felt it enough yet. Your flesh is too mechanized to get it, and it's that opposition to mechanization that opposes them to Shodan. So like the people who are possessed by the many, they gradually come to talk in more emotional terms in a way that I like a lot. So wait, the auto repair unit, does that put something up to... No, it does put something up to 10. Interesting. That would be cool. I like the idea of that. Right. I think we should probably go downstairs. We should approach Sim Unit 3 and feel some sorrow, I guess. Oh hey, Gunrun's in the chat. Hey Gunrun.
This is Xerxes. At 0200, there will be a poetry reading by Protocol Unit T892/2 in the Deck 5 Commons area.
Oh, poor
Please
Xerxes.
bring any authorized material that you wish to be read by T892/2.
I'm mean about Xerxes, but really Xerxes deserves better. Frendo says, I'm back and I know exactly where this is. Thanks, Frendo. Thanks for coming back and just to like, immediately flexing on the chat with your knowledge of this game, which admittedly is vast. Oh, another French Epstein device. Excellent. Another laser rapier. Get out of here. I already got one. Right. I wonder what could be awaiting for me. Right, so we've got... Let's heal up, shall we? Knowing where this is fills me with fear. Okay. Is this... Yeah, I see these doors. It just, I guess it depends what kind of surprise it is. And, you know, we're saved now, so I guess... Spoiders! Multiple spoiders. Oh, heavens. Oh no, my sword. Shit. Spiders can't climb ladders, right? Doesn't try to find out.
This is Xerxes. At 0200, there will be a poetry reading by protocol
Rude.
unit
Very rude.
92/2.
Well, my sword's still down there.
Please bring any authorized
Oh no. Oh no.
wish to be read by T892/2.
Alright, how much can we get out of these spiders from up here? Look at this valorous combat. This is us. We're the savior of the universe right here. Shooting spiders from all the way up the ladder. Can I shoot them from upon the ladder? Yes. How much does cryo do to spiders? Should I get pyro for this specific enemy? Oh, that's not terrible. It's not great, but it could be a lot worse. There's only one side each time. Yeah, I think this is how we're going to kill the spiders. Hello, spiders. Goodbye, spiders. See, I know you, chat. I know this is the fantastic, thrilling play that you come to this channel for. You come to watch me completely stakes-free blow up spiders from the safety of the ladder. Gunrun in the chat is asking if I have AoE spells, maybe? No, I don't have any AoE spells. I think this game has like 2 direct damage spells, and they're basically variations of this. Like all of the other spells exist purely to be like they're all like weird stuff, like get better at hacking briefly, or like stat boosts, you know? Right. Let's get our agility back, go and find our laser rapier.
Agility activated.
I did throw it, didn't I? Yes. I threw it somewhere over here, yes. There we go. Anyway, we did it. Gunrun saying that they count spells as grenades as spells in this instance, and boy howdy if you think I can use grenades.
Primary data loop infiltrated. Primary data loop infiltrated.
You have accomplished much for a thing of such small consequence.
Oh. Voice acting's so good.
Warning.
Now proceed to the recreation deck. Do not dawdle. I lust for my revenge.
That's such a good line. That's an incredible line. Do not dawdle, I lust for my revenge. What a baller, eh? Isn't Shodan cool as hell? Hot take, I know. Oh, that was rude. You can't throw a grenade at me while I'm 2 feet away from you. That's against, like, the Geneva Convention, I'm pretty sure. Horny on mainframe, thank you. That's definitely going to be the title of at least one of these stream logs. Dogstrong is in the chat saying that all they know about System Shock 2 is that the best voice acting is in the final cutscene, and it sure as heck is. That is the best thing about System Shock 2, and we are going to get there. I believe. Alright, let's get to this recreation deck, shall we? Let's put this gun here so we don't have to violently throw the sword away when we put it down. Ooh, the final cutscene of this game proves to be a divisive topic amongst the chat. Let it be known that I will only accept that it is great and fantastic, and if you disagree, then, well, we're gonna have disagreements about that, you know. I know it seems obvious, but trust me. Right, clonk.
Delacroix, it's me, Cortez. We're locked in here. Hey, who are you? Shit.
People? What? I thought this was post-space apocalypse, but no, it's mid-space apocalypse. Oh, as if by magic. I just enable my sword brain. Do you think like a Psi-Hypo like gives you spoons? Is that it? Does it what the hell? Does it work on spoons?
Your colleagues
have managed to set up a transmitting station in the athletic sector of this
Fuck
deck.
prisms.
The transmitter is intended to send a message to the Earth to warn them of the events that have occurred in this ship. However, it will also draw power away from Xerxes, making him vulnerable to my will. Once you do this, I will control the primary data loop. The annelids are unaware of its presence, but guard the area for their own purposes. Find the transmitter and activate it.
So yeah, we're gonna go and find the transmitter to drain Xerxes of some power so Showdown can give him a big kiss. I feel bad for ambushing that monkey in the way that I did. That felt unfair. Wow, look, you can even see on the textures their hands are all burned up from the pyro. That's really cool. This game's really cool. Hey, a robot. Oh. Where's this camera? Oh, there it is. I'm gonna sword this camera. Oh. Alright. Psi-Hypo, we take those. Another audio log.
Okay, I got the ARC terminals wired up to display the fragmented dish alignment for the transmitter. I've also rigged up the tower to set off a security alert in case somebody else tries to tamper with it. I'm headed there right now to start the transmission. Hey, who's that? Juan? Marie?
Oh no! Another lethal audio log. How many of those does this game have, I wonder? Something of a, I mean, the original System Shock did it too, but something of a genre pioneer as lethal audio logs go. Right, we're going to figure out what to do with that. Cybernetic modules in between streams, I think. Tigrix is saying it's surreal how there are violent monkeys in amongst all of these comparatively gritty sci-fi monsters, and I would agree, except that I think that the sci-fi monkeys are among the grittier enemies in this game. Like, their whole role in the narrative is that the humans on the ship, I said humans, like, I mean, anyway, yeah, the people on the ship are just kind of, we're just like, hey, what if we lobotomized monkeys and gave them psychic powers? Like, that's some pretty dark sci-fi. Like, as the game has worn on and it's become more about being a really horny AI in space, we've kind of lost the deeply like the core of cyberpunk, which is like hatred for contemporary systems of capital. Like, that was rife at the very beginning of the game. And it's kind of trickled away as we've gone on. But the monkeys are a part of that for me.
The lights near the basketball court keep fritzing out. I think the humidity from the pool next door is a real problem. If it happens when I'm not there, try resetting the circuit from the breaker by the pool. You think someone needs to call a tech?
Alright. So there's a breaker for the circuit.
Access needed.
Oh, more cards. More cards. Normally I would like more cards. Oh yeah, something explosive happened when I was talking about it. Was going to talk about it before, so I'll just mention it again. Nat was in the chat saying that Horny on Main Deck was a good substitute for Horny on Mainframe, and I would agree, except that I think I want to save Horny on Main Deck for a Magic Stream.
They've killed my men, and now
I'm
they've
not
killed me.
apologising for that.
I'm holding my guts inside of me with both hands. I'm almost done. Resist. This is bigger than my little life. The lives of my men, and the lives of the people I was forced to kill. Resist! Humanity demands it. Resist!
I like how all of Bronson's audio logs read like not the voice actor, but the character Bronson was handed a script and is reading it at gunpoint. Like, oh, they've killed me. Oh, I'm holding my guts in with both hands. Ugh. Ugh.
I don't know what's going on around here, and I don't want to know. I'm not here for the glory of the stupid company. I'm just supposed to make sure the replicators are running, and now people are dying. We've got to turn this ship around and go home. God, get me the hell out of this place.
Maybe Bronson's audio logs predicted people tweeting about the near-death situations they're in, you know?
This is Xerxes. The Deck 5 shopping area
Get
will
owned,
be closed
camera.
until further notice. We apologize for the inconvenience. The family of the many grows with every passing moment. Glory to the flesh. Glory to the mass.
Why did that body have exactly 17 nanites? Do you reckon, chat, using our very robust calculation of what exactly a nanite is worth, we could figure out what this person was trying to buy with 17 nanites?
Mon petite, there is something you should know about. I have received information from some form of artificial intelligence that is calling itself
Artificial
Shodan.
intelligence.
Yes, Shodan. Wherever this intelligence actually came from, it has a terrible grudge against these annelids and has saved my life more than once. Shodan has told me that there is a UNN operative aboard the ship, armed to the hilt and equipped with R-grade cyber implants. Strange bedfellows, eh?
That's me they're talking about. Imagine that. Imagine a movie where they have that, she records that conversation, and instead of jump cutting to the sleeping body of the UNN operative, brooding and waiting to come out and do horrible murder crimes to all of the hybrids, that just smash cuts to me fucking flinging my sword across the room because I'm too slow to hold it. Explosion. Ow! That was me you exploded. What has happened? Don't explode me. I don't like it when that happens. Well, now I'm very confused. Who done that explosion on me?
Access needed.
Oh, you. I mean, I'm okay with explosions between consenting adults, but come on. Oh yeah, I have a rat suit, don't I? That I should probably employ for this exact scenario. Oh, 19 nanites, hella. 21 nanites, hella. that it? Yeah, that's totally it, isn't it? Gosh dang darn. I got all radiated up for that. Time to put on this completely functionless power armor. Let's recharge it with our brain. Yeah! So that person had, wait, 8 pounds of, oh no wait, never mind. 8 pounds of nanites in here. Yeah. So I guess we've been through this part fairly robustly, and we need to go and find keys now. Nope. There we go. The whirring. No, nothing is wrong. I'm fine. Where's Robert? Get here, Robert. Come on, come on! Make my day. Yeah. Oh, a casino! Can gamble away all my hard-earned crisps.
They see you.
Uh-oh.
Run. Run.
Okay. Oh, I lost 2 nanites. Oh, I lost 2 nanites again. Wait, is this a timing thing? No. Damn, I just gambled away like 8 packets of crisps. Did not win big. Sad. Makes you think. What? No, don't do this. Hey, you think I'm afraid of you? I'm not afraid of you. Oh no, I was afraid of you. I regret nothing. I've never regretted anything in my life.
I've just killed some kind of spider.
Wow, she was powerful.
But it bit me. And now I'm sick.
Oh, and
I'm down to my last med hypo. Come quick, Tommy. Come quick.
destroyed. She should have known to use the yellow hypos. Sorting cameras is particularly satisfying for reasons I don't fully understand. It feels like some kind of primal victory over camera. There we go. Give me that good electric. Get out of here, juice. Oh hey, more than one Robert. I hope I can own them from a distance. Oh, I missed. Well, they've seen me now. Thrilling combat. Alright, in the interest of making combat very slightly more thrilling, I'm gonna go and sword that one.
Adrenaline activated.
Meow.
This is Xerxes. Try optimum.
Military robot. Yeah, get owned. I will sword everyone. There is no one that cannot be sworded by me.
We can give you the spending money you need. to make this holiday a very special one.
There you go. There's your very your sort of subtle jabs at capitalism. I like that stuff.
Damn. Why don't I just make a bonfire and throw all my nanites on it? Last night with Nikki was amazing. Hollow woman, real woman. You gotta love technology. But I must have left all my nanites in her room, in the central sim center. What a maroon.
What a maroon. Ah! Oh no, the hook flies. Leave me alone, hook flies. More than one set of hook flies. Leave me alone, hook flies. Please. Please leave me alone. Hook there we go, they left me alone. That accent did indeed rack up some air miles. Oh, I just love this game. It's so good. Where is this hecking camera? Is it up there? Oh, fuck that. Where is it?
Your flash will
Ow. It must be upstairs, right? Oh, fucking mech. Silence the Discord. Big mood. As a Discord mod, I can say big mood. Ow, right, you. Bad. Oh, I'm gonna die. Oh, I died. Oh, hang on. Load, quick save. Oh, it's before I sorted this one. Well, you get to watch the exciting bit again. Or I make a very ill-informed decision for the purposes of cool things.
Xerxes. Tri-Optimum reminds you that there are shopping days
Hey, 2
until
damage.
Christmas. An extra work cycle just twice a week to make this holiday a very special one.
There we go. Right, let's not activate that camera. Oh, there it is. You sneaky git. Nope, no. There we go. Oh, remember Citadel. Oh, Ken Levine. What an environmental storyteller, eh? Love to love to reference the previous game in my own blood on the wall. Right, which of these am I getting? Oh. Oh, this mech was here already, huh? Owned. Alright. Which of these do we want again? Overhand attacks with melee weapons does sound like the exact kind of thing that I would want. Cyber assimilation. Yeah. I've got a bajillion nanites, I can just buy hypers. Better movement speed, that's pretty cool. That seems useless. Yep, stronger melee attacks it is. How do I do that though? Wow, that arm bending animation is something for sure. That's hilarious. Oh, how silly. Is that a living spider? Oh, this. I see. Killed the spider who's in the audio log. Nice. I wonder if this has like a different range. Oh, more hook flies. Hook flies are cancelled, let me tell you. Tigrix in the chat has pointed out that yes, this game cannot have truly good environmental storytelling until there is a skeleton on the toilet. That is true. Ken Levine, you've got a lot to learn. This is a Ken Levine roast stream, I'm sorry, this is just who I am. Cybernetic modules, they're hard to come by. Alright, let's own some fools.
This is Xerxes. Tri-Optimum reminds you that there are only 163 shopping days until Christmas. An extra work cycle twice a week can give you the spending money you need to make this holiday a very special one.
Wow.
Potential threat detected. Potential threat detected.
The security cameras are breaking Rule 1 a lot. Rule 1 is be nice to me, by the way. You have to be nice to me.
Sound is not ours.
Get back here so I can shank you with my sword made of laser. Oh, what? Oh, where was that pyro monkey even? What the whole heck? Oh, there it is. Jeez, please chill. Oh, I see. The monkey destroyed that. Oh, god dang. It just never ends. Particularly because I have no idea where the security computer is. And it's the kind of thing I probably should know. Is Xerxes summoning explosive monkeys? Because that seems unfair. That also seems like something that, like, Xerxes just shouldn't be able to do. Oh, well, that's gone. It's neat of them to introduce a load of, like, explosive enemies when you get to this point. Why is it showing me that? That's weird. Get owned, monkey.
Security alert terminated.
There's another camera around there, I know. Gonna fucking stab you.
Is this your desire?
There we go.
Where did you go? Oh.
Good unsettling robot voice, Imo. Are they down there? Reveal yourself. Yeah, there you are. Can I? No robots.
Agility deactivated.
More audio logs.
What's wrong with people? Things go to hell and they think they can just walk over the rules.
What?
They're opposed to a little vice now and then, but outright theft. Hey, what are you doing over there? Get away from that replicator, you son of a...
That man's accent is incredible. It's different every sentence, every word even. I'm gonna listen to that again.
Damn.
Oh,
Why don't I just make a bonfire and throw all my nanites on it? What's wrong with people? Things go to hell and they think they can just walk over the rules. I'm not opposed to a little vice now and then, but outright theft. Hey, what are you doing over there? Get away from that replicator, you son of a...
That's amazing. Every other word, like the flares are all wrong and weird. It's so good. Oh, I love it. Right. We did it.
Power drained.
Yeah, Crocodile Dundee is a very good comparison, but it's like, it's all over the place. It's like Middle England and also like posh England and also Crocodile Dundee and also like American. I think this is one of the voice cast of this game who thinks they were good at accents. Which is a very, very common affliction for people who are doing voice acting, like who are just starting out voice acting. Never! Clone maids. Ugh. Ugh. Life has more meaning when we do the cleaning. Oi. Grim. Alright, well, I think we're done here, so we should go back this way via the value rep. Wherever that turns out to be. Oh. So yeah, the recreation deck is nice. It's a slightly softer side of the ship that we haven't really seen much of so far. Like the Von Braun has been pretty grim and like utilitarian. I mean, not that this isn't utilitarian, but it's like, I don't know. This seems like a place where people who work on the Von Braun could enjoy themselves, which is nice. It's neat that they they've managed to integrate that into the design without sacrificing the fact that the Von Braun is a very bleak place to work. It's cool. Alright. There's nothing in these toilets. God damn it. Who called it the recreation deck and not decreation? You're right, Nat. You could not be any righter. Whoa! Foliage! Are these prisms ammo for a weapon I don't have? They must be, right? I should probably not be presenting my very weak and almost out of ammo pistol to forwards. Oh, this is very weird music.
I'm so close to Rebecca, it's killing me. I'm spending some time with crew members who said they saw her. They told me to help me find her if I help them set up this transmitter. They're set on saving the Earth. I just want Rebecca. Then I'll take care of the Earth.
Alright. What is that? Okay.
You seek your associates.
Good heavens. Horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Was that like a brand new sound effect?
To be one against the infinite.
That was very, very good. I'm into that a lot. Oh, fucking... No! Oh, it's all gone wrong. It's all gone bad. Oh no! Oh no! This is bad. This is very bad. Oh shit. Alright. Wow, graves. Awesome. This owns. This actually owns. I love this. Turning a door and bumping into fucking, like, just seeing, opening a door and seeing graves there when you're running away from enemies that, like, you're afraid are going to kill you is like, that's like a horror movie beat, and it's so cool that a game like this managed to have that in it. Chat is asking what a place like this is doing on a spaceship, and my guess would be either hydroponics or that some people just like to recreate, as we're on the recreation deck, some people like to recreate in green places, you know? Oh lol, the explosion killed the spiders. We take those. Let me tell you, we take those.
Taylor sent some email this morning indicating he found some kind of artifact that could infect the worms with the virus. However, if you manipulated the thing, it would introduce a toxin into the human bloodstream that could kill in minutes. Unfortunately, Taylor found this out the hard way. He died right after he sent the message. Now, if we can only locate his body, we might find that artifact.
Oh, this guy, he found a thing that killed him. I wonder where it is. And you know, that's a mood. Big mood. Oh, an excellent quality grenade launcher that we'll never use. Alright. I think we actually managed to come out of that scrap looking pretty good. Footsies. Oh my god, it's full of worms. Oh, hey, crew access.
I am pleased. Transmitting cybernetic modules. Do not squander them.
Thanks, Showdown. Well, you didn't say they were hard to come by that time. Sad. Wow, more bodies. Why would you... I'm confused as to why you would go to the effort of disposing bodies down here and then just leave these two out here. That seems strange, but okay. Whatever. Alright. How do we actually... Oh, we got out of here once. We can do it again. There we go. Okay. So now... Oh yeah, now we just have the access so we can go through that door that we found at the beginning of the crew quarters. Yay! And this is the way to athletics, which... So wait, this is the mall? That's not a mall. Oh wait, no. We go through there to get to the mall. I see. That makes slightly more sense. A weird shaped desk.
Listen, there's one escape pod Xerxes didn't eject, but it's busted. I managed it functional, but I don't know how long it can stay that way. Make it there, Tommy, with or without me. If I don't get there, I want you to pod and go. You understand me? Take it and go.
Aww. Star-crossed lovers, eh? Get it? Because they're in space. Space. Ah! Ninja! Well, I was owned by Ninja. Oh, hey Jacob Bunkinton, welcome to stream. Right, I think we've established there's nothing in here, so... Let's get the drop on this Ninja. Oh no, I missed it. Ow, ow, ow. Yeah, well. I studied the blade. While you were busy practicing shuriken throwing, I studied the blade. I hear camera noises. Yeah. You gonna forget I exist or not? Yeah. Yeah. Love to sword a camera. You missed. You cannot miss against me like that. It will end badly for you. No ninjas in the toilets. What the hell? Worst game.
Babies must sleep. Babies must rest.
Wise is the one who does not waken them. Leave this place now, or we will wound you.
As you have us.
You can't wound me. I've got a sword. You don't have shit. Ninja. Ninja. This is what happens when doors don't open. They have ninjas behind them. Chat has pointed out that those two bathrooms are identical and yet are still gendered, therefore proving that System Shock may have predicted a lot of things, but it didn't predict that gender was fake. Ah. There were two ninjas in there. And they're both girl ninjas. Or ninjas that did not fit into the gender binary and were not properly catered to by this shitty toilet system. Oh shit, they're in both toilets. I've somehow vaulted my way into the hole behind the toilet. Oh, Jacob Von Gunsen has owned me by pointing out that most toilet systems are shitty toilet systems. It's true. If you think I won't try and camp these ninjas a third time, you're wrong. You're wrong as heck. Chat is suggesting I try and shoot the ninjas with my guns, and like, I could do that, but then the ninjas would die in the knowledge that they were better ninjas than me. See? Doesn't that feel better? Doesn't that feel better? Chat is suggesting I meet the ninjas in the marketplace of ideas and or the marketplace of ninjas. I feel like I've done both of those things. Oh, I did it. I feel like I've done both of those things, and like, you know, I'm sorry, but the ninjas they lost in the marketplace of ninjas. All that remains is me, with the literal, in this case, the literal invisible hand. Although when I do this, it becomes visible. So I don't know what that exactly implies for macroeconomics, but we'll work it out together.
The annelids have cut us off from the transmitter. Shodan tells me that once we've got the transmitter back online and the ops computers reprogrammed, she'll be able to take control of the ship away from Xerxes. Who should I trust less? An imposter claiming to be that monster, or the monster herself?
Dun, dun, dun. I hear robots. Oh, no. Get out of here, bullets. Where are they gone? There they are. Clonk. Oh, I see. Can I... How do I get to there? Interesting. Interesting navigation thing. You get to the edge of a place and you think, why is there nowhere else to go? You look around, you look up. There's a way to go there, but you can't get there. How do you get there? Thinking about how to get there is thinking about how to get there is instantly like a fun play loop thing. It's fun to think about. Can we use this game's slightly dodgy vaulting system to get there? One wonders. Feeds this idea of folded space, you know? I can be here and very close to somewhere else, even though if I were moving through that space in one direction, I would not find that I was very close. Alright. See if we can actually get a jump off there, or is it too low to jump? Then I will give up, if you cannot actually jump off here. So I feel like you should be able to. No, okay, you can't. Either you can't, or I'm just going to give up. Pick whichever works for you. Hell yeah, chat's talking about how great the future piano is with just an equalizer on it. Hell yeah. Does your piano not have an equalizer on it? What the heck?
Song is sorry.
Don't apologize to me, the other one that got owned. Then upstairs.
You do not hide.
And well, a shard and a cyan. Yeah, well earned.
I've been working on dealing with all the bodies that have been stacking up. With the medbase full and the escape pods and ejection tubes mysteriously locked up all of a sudden, we've got to do something with them. I've chosen the maintenance tunnel underneath the garden as an internment site. Keypad code 34093. I'm telling everyone to be careful. I don't trust the dead.
So that's why all of those bodies were very weirdly buried there. Oh, it's broken. I can't fix it. Where? It's neat that the game lets it go both ways, you know. It doesn't just let you hear things in audio logs and then explain what they meant. It also, sometimes, has you see something interesting and then have an audio log explain it later. That's neat. Why ninjas gotta do me like this? Hang on, no wait, the ninja was there. Why isn't that door open? I came through. How weird.
Agility activated.
There are more ninjas downstairs. Is that what is in my future? Greater volume of ninjas? Oh, more dead people. Oh, more cybernetic modules. I better not waste them. Oh, the door just opened this time. What? Video games. Oh yeah, we get the weird harp music back. And the slightly unsettling footstep noises. It like 34033 or something? No. Where is my thing? Cards. Okay.
I've been working on dealing with all the bodies that have been stacking up. With the medbase full and the escape pods and injection tubes mysteriously locked up all of a sudden, I've got to do something with them. I've chosen the maintenance station to guard it as an internment site.
Oh, fucking worms. Gosh dang it. Ugh. This game takes it out of you. Alright. Now that we've found the mass grave, let's see what the bodies have on them. Standard issue combat armor. Oh, and cybernetic modules. Better not waste them. Tigrix is in the chat saying there's something really funny about psychicking yourself to be able to use a high-tech sword. I completely agree. I completely agree. You could even say it's one of the primary comedic drivers behind this entire live stream. I love it. It's so funny. System Shock 2 is a funny video game. There's an idea congealing in my head about how this game relates to Half-Life. I'm gonna get there, eventually. If it doesn't constantly get interrupted by just horrible screaming monster things. But, you know, maybe it will anyway, and that'll be fine. Will is in the chat asking me what I think about Milo being banned from Patreon after a single day. You know what I think about that? I think that's hilarious. Get owned, Milo. I hope you starve to death. Do you remember when he did that tweet about how he couldn't, like, order food because he was afraid people would pee in it? What a loser. Oh, I just didn't pick that up, well. Oh, I died.
There's one escape pod Xerxes didn't eject, but it's busted. I've managed it functional, but I don't know how long it can stay that way. Make it there, Tommy, with or without me. If I don't get there, I want you to let him go. You understand me? Take it and go.
In the next issue of Ask a Girlie, Tom asks, why are quarter circle forward so hard to do after jump cancels? And the answer is, yeah, that is pretty hard, but like, chances are if you're finding that hard, the problem is that you're overdoing the jump cancel. So like, hold up while your move hits, and then as soon as your feet leave the ground, let go of the stick, and then after it's returned to neutral, then do your quarter circle forward, and you'll find you probably end up with much better results. But yes, the window is nominally quite a bit tighter.
Xerxes, copy.
Oh, I died. Heck. I'm out of hypos again, and I'm pretty sure I just saw a bounty rep, but I just straight up did not accustom. It's okay, I only died a little bit. And now I'm undead. Which one's a good one? This one. Get out of here. Oh, sweet. More cybernetic modules. They're pretty hard to come by, but I'm glad to have as many as I do. Alright, so I've got the crew car, the crew deck. Yeah, deck 5 crew access. Cool, 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 cool. Guzzling med hypos like their hamburgers with chili on them. I will not be called out like this, friendo. I refuse. There we go. Can I get it back? Okay. Ow. Thanks, fall damage. I totally cannot get back up there. Well, time to eat all of this floor food. I don't know about you, but when I see a load of food on the floor, I'm chomping at the bit to just munch it, you know? Should probably done that to my EMP rifle. Oopsie doopsie.
Mistrust is the tyranny of the individual. Your own kind sees you as a threat.
Why do you murder our unity?
No matter. The line is drawn.
You will cease to be.
It is just a question of
Who will bring your end? Us?
or you.
So that's the thing that's neat. I noticed that after I fell in that channel in the ground where all the bodies were and got ganked by those spiders, that was the second time I fell through the floor, and then the voice of the many started speaking to me, right? And that's actually a really neat, environmental thing, because this time you climb up into this vent and the many start speaking to you, and it emphasizes the fact that actually the many primarily deign to speak to you in tight enclosed spaces. I think that's really clever, especially when you consider the many is trying to like appeal to the limits of your individuality, right? That's cool. It's cool that they did that. Because obviously in this environment where you're claustrophobic, you're worried about, it emphasizes how alone you are. It's neat. It's neat that these people talk to you like that. And yes, as Friendo in the chat says, mistrust is the tyranny of the individual remains a really awesome line. An ice pick, you say? Is that like auto hack? Yes. Cool. Oh, well, not the hook flies. Oh, can't get away from them this far. I heard the hook fly's dying sound. We take those. Well, that's another thing, right? So Tigerix is saying that wide open spaces are better at emphasizing loneliness, and generally that I would agree. But as Friendo points out, we're actually like in direct proximity to one of the wide open spaces, right? Like, to that end, it kind of makes sense that we have sort of nominal access to both wide open spaces, because of both wide open spaces and claustrophobic spaces, because we're in this super tight. We're in this super tight air vent without much room to maneuver, and you know we feel unsafe. But also, we have this problem whereby, like if that concerns you, if it concerns you that you're stuck in this tiny space, you also have this thing that you're in space. Like you're in space, like you're confined in a tiny space, but separated by, you know, human-made artifice, and you know, as we've seen, pretty flimsy human-made artifice from the cold vacuum of space, one of the most hostile environments to human life ever. And the many offers you know safety from that, another way, and that's neat.
They're coming! Oh no! No!
Wow, this person that died, they didn't want to die. Oh goddamn. Just in there. Oh. Oh, I see. I've opened this maintenance hatch. Is that what's happening? Ah, and this is that. It's all happening. Kind of. Except to the extent that for some reason I can't. There we go. More cybernetic modules. But remember, let's not waste them. You've been shanked by the Shank Patrol. Oh hey, Deck 5 crew access. Nice. Alright, so that's the way to the crew quarters. Where was I going again? Showdown was impressed and gave me some cybernetic modules. Let's go back to the door right at the beginning of this deck, shall we? Can I just say how great it is that I feel like I made a mistake repairing the wrong weapon, thinking I should repair the EMP rifle, and then immediately found a fully repaired EMP rifle. I'm good at video games. As if any more proof were needed.
This is Xerxes. Remember, replicator restrictions are in place for the good of all of us. All unauthorized database interactions will be dealt with to the utmost degree of the law.
Oh wow, a hook fly's bomb. That's my least favorite thing. I guess that's another thing I'd say as well, because like,
Please restate any requests.
if you're alienated by the idea of wide open spaces, like, fair enough, but like in this environment, we don't really have a lot of access to those, particularly because it's 1998. Did we decide it was 1998? It's 1998, and like video games are hard to make. But also, like, you know, we're in space, and volume of battleship is volume of the Von Braun is at a premium, right? So like, if you have this wide open space, chances are there'll be people in it, if, you know, dead or otherwise. But in the air vents, you are completely isolated from everyone else.
The shunt has been online for 2 hours. Go tell Cortez in the crew section to come out and turn on that transmitter. If this message doesn't reach you soon, they may be able to interfere with the transmission from the bridge.
Oh, from the bridge. So kind of robot up there. I'm gonna need to kill him. With my EMP rifle.
Stay out of the mall if you can. It crawls.
Great, thanks for that one. Not the best audio log I've ever heard, if I must be critical. Oh yeah, I was going to talk about how this game relates to Half-Life, wasn't it? Can someone in the chat remind me when Half-Life came out? Because I know it was close to the release of this game, but not how close. Goddamn pyro monkey. Alright, yeah, I thought Half-Life was super close to the release of this game, but I just couldn't remember how close. So, like, yeah, the relationship between Half-Life and this game is a really interesting one, because I've talked about, and you've seen the result of this game's absolutely fantastic level design. It's the level design such that the way in which you naturally move through the space is so often one that will cause you to fall into traps and, like, it'll cause you to fall into the traps and disorient yourself, which is really impressive for a game with like a mechanical set like this one, which is very, very static. Like, you know, as we've seen, given any and all provocation, I will just stand still and shoot at enemies at no risk to myself. So it's really impressive that the level design manages to trap you in places that mean that that's not an option for you. That's really cool. And Half-Life does that extremely well as well. And I guess that the comparison point between them is the way that Half-Life's mechanical design and System Shock's mechanical design differ, which is that Half-Life's mechanical design is a lot less, like, it's a lot more inherently dynamic than this game, because you have fewer of these survival style mechanics that make you want to stand still, right? You're always, in both games you're progressing towards the conclusion of this narrative, but like in Half-Life it's more, see I could have done this ages ago. In Half-Life it's more immediate, right? And so, oh shit. So it's interesting to compare the two, oh shit. It's interesting to compare the two as they relate in this way, right?
Activity activated.
Knife these words. So yeah, Half-Life is another, like, in this game, the clever level design that, like, very readily predicts the way that the player is going to move and makes the level unforgiving around them is mirrored in the way that Half-Life does a similar thing. But instead of using it to push you out of your mechanical rut, which it does in this game, Half-Life does it to give its narrative, what's the word I'm looking for? Urgency, that's the word I'm looking for. Half-Life's narrative always feels very urgent, even though the story is at times, like, fine? You know, bad alien things happen. But that's kind of... When did this happen? I thought arachnids took ages and ages and ages to kill with my sword. Interesting. But yeah, so I was saying, in this game, the terrifying and powerful level design catching you off guard is to pull you out of a mechanical rut to stop you from just standing still and shooting the enemy, which is something that you can and want to do. Whereas in Half-Life, not only is standing still and shooting the enemy because of the enemy design often not possible, but also because the game is less about resource management, less about...
The eggs we found near the observation chambers are different from the ones in Hydro. They release some kind of disgusting flying swarming thingies.
Hook flies.
Bullets don't do anything. Bullets, for Christ's sake. I never even fired a gun before this morning.
Right. But yeah, so Half-Life uses this level design to create urgency in its narrative, because the way that Half-Life uses its level design is that like frightening things happen, but in a way that instead of having immediate and like frightening consequences for you and your resources, they instead lead you to believe that you were too late, that you got there too late to actually do anything important, narratively that is. So what Half-Life does is it uses that level design to keep you moving forward, to hope that eventually you will reach a point where you get there fast enough to be involved, I guess. Because and Half-Life's narrative is involving. It's like, you know, it's a very, very good game. But like this constant feeling of being too late is like, it's a real driver. It really pushes you forward. It's cool. And that is my read on the way in which System Shock 2 and Half-Life used sort of frightening and catching you off guard level design in similar but ultimately different ways. Right, that's another thing. So Snowwraith's in the chat saying that Half-Life is great at this. Hang on, let me find out if this actually... Oh, it doesn't. Okay, cool. Half-Life is great at keeping you moving forward and making you feel like you're finding your own way around. That's right, that's another thing that Half-Life's level design does, is it makes you feel like you are the one finding your way around, when actually Half-Life's level designs are very linear, which is the exact opposite of what we've got here, which is like completely circular spaces that you sort of fill in as you go. And that's very impressive that Half-Life's able to do that. Oh, I've had enough of this. Yeah, so System Shock 2 uses urgency in its level design to disarm you and make you feel like you don't have as much control over the situation as you thought you did, make you like panic and spend your resources differently, whereas Half-Life uses urgency in its level design to pull you forward, to involve you in its narrative. That's really cool. And one of the reasons that I saw fit to mention those two examples is because I think that this kind of environmental design is very uncommon in contemporary video games. Like, you don't see it anywhere near as much. Well, not anywhere near as much, but like, basically it's very good in those two games, and, you know, others as well, but those are like still some of the best examples in the genre. Even after all these years. That's very impressive. This is what, like 20 years now? Cannot hold the sword.
Activity activated.
Another auto repair unit. Nice. Speaking of which, I'm going to use this to auto repair my torn flesh. Alright. What are we doing? We're trying to see what's going on up here. Air vents, I love to be in those. Egg. Chat is speculating that the overhead chop with the sword seems to be useless, and I disagree. It's been pretty good at like vastly increasing our damage output against things like robots, and that's good. That's a good thing to have in my onion. T-Rex, oh Cyberball, grant me sword juice. Hella. Shoot the heck out of that, friend. Do I have the key for this? I feel like I don't. I feel like I have used all of my keys of late. Oh, ninja! No racial slurs for you. I like how extremely slowly the EMP gun pulses travel. That's really fun to me. Whoa! Snowwraith is in the chat informing everyone that if they want to see the kinds of cool level design that you saw in the original Half-Life, then you can see it in Left 4 Dead, and you sure as hell can. Left 4 Dead is a great video game, and, like, a lot is great about that game, like, way more than you might expect. It's a great, like, it's a great zombie shooting game. It's a great example of Valve's, I think, ultimately, like, not trademark, but the kind of thing they were famous for with this, like, emergent narrative from a game that felt, like, from a game that, explicitly speaking, did not have much in the way of narrative. Like, it does that very well. And yes, if you are interested in how games are made, one of the most interesting, like one of the best things that you could do around the time that Valve were releasing games often is to play through a Valve game with the developer commentary on, because they have some real interesting things to say about how they made their games, and you know, their games are good. There's a lot going on up here, and I'm not about all of it, I'm gonna be honest. No ninja in the shower? Good. The Athletics XR access card.
I am pleased. Transmitting cybernetic modules.
Do you think Shodan has...
Squander them.
Do you think Shodan has any concept of what we're doing here, or she just like picks random moments to say, ah yes, muerte? She just picks random moments to say, ah yeah, well done, have some modules. Muerte. Love to daub death on the wall in my own blood, or someone else's blood, I don't know. This is a weird choice, Ken. This is a direct call out of you, Ken. Why'd you do this? Even if it was someone else's fault. Even if it was someone else's decision, I'm blaming you, Ken. Chat is lamenting that Valve stopped making games, and yeah, same. But also, like, I don't know. That's how capitalism works. When you have a monopoly on the sale of video games, you don't really need to make video games anymore. She seems sad. Alright, so I have the athletics access key, so I guess I should go to athletics. Okay. Juice up on electrons. Uh-oh, what happened there? The sensitivity's gone way down. Oh, there we go. Stupid mouse, too many buttons. Alright, which way is athletics? Alright. Oh, wait, am I... Yeah, okay, cool. Da-da-da. God dang. Monkey! Oh, the monkey threw its arms in the air when it couldn't even see me. It was like, ah, someone's there! Whoa. Better look threatening while facing the other way.
Agility activated.
Alright. It is midnight, so I'm going to gain access to athletics right now. And then probably call the stream. Because I got work in the morning. Whoa, there it is.
Your skill surprises me. Transmitting cybernetic modules.
Alright, so we did it. We gained access to cybernetics, athletics. So, that is the end, then, of this episode of Ministry of Sound Techno Anthems 99. Thank you everybody for coming. I hope you enjoyed System Shock 2. I love this game, it's so good. I'm going to keep playing it until I finish it. Thank you everyone who is, well, thank you to everyone who watched this stream, but thank you also to people who are watching this stream for the first time, who came by on that cool raid from Dogstrong. Thanks everyone. If you really like this stream, then you can watch it again next time. It's every Wednesday at 10 PM in England. I don't really know when that is in every other territory in the world, but if you were here sometime this week, you can be here sometime next week. And so on and so on and so on. If you really, really like this stream, then, as some people did already, you can follow the channel with one of the buttons that does that. And if you really, really liked it, you can subscribe to it or give me some bits. I love both of those things. But, you know, really what I love is when people watch the stream and chat about the stream, which you all did, and that was great. If you really liked me, but didn't like System Shock, then that's fine. Sometimes I stream other games, but also I did some YouTube videos one time, and I'm going to do some again in the future, I promise. There are some buttons with links to my Twitter and my YouTube, so you can find those there. And this stream was in collaboration with Game and Love, which is a really cool web ring for queers online who are talking about video games. And I'm one of those, and they're all those as well, and they're cool. But it's late, and I have to go to bed. So, until next time, peace.